There has never been a greater time than now to invest in the Metro Detroit area, and there's no other investment firm better qualified than Platinum Real Estate Holdings. With 40 years experience and over 1,000 homes sold, let Platinum Real Estate Holdings assist you with the purchase of a city-certified home of the highest quality, turnkey properties, screen renters, yielding instant cash flow. Well, what are you waiting for? Call or visit us online today.
Hello, and thank you for joining me for your weekly real estate recap. And on today's show, we'll talk about why you may not want to invest in rental properties locally. Here is a list of logistical reasons that may have you looking outside of your local area for rental properties, or at least considering the option. One is the entry price. The most basic aspect of whether you want to buy in your local market is whether or not you have enough capital to buy there. There are a lot of markets out there that are freakishly expensive, and you may not have that kind of capital. Next, it's the forms of profit. Assuming your goal with buying a rental property is profit, different forms of profit may not exist in your local area. Typically, with rental property, the two most common strategies for earning income are monthly cash flow, where you receive income each month from the rental income after all expenses are paid. Next is the appreciation. Typically, houses increase in value, and that value is the appreciation, also known as equity. Now listen, there are many ways of profiting from a rental property, but typically, going into shopping for rental property, your goal is going to probably be either monthly cash flow or appreciation. Next, we're going to talk about the downside of investing in rental properties outside of your local area. I would say there are two downsides to investing in rental properties outside of your local area. If I were to be more accurate, though, I would say there are really only 1.5 downsides of investing in rental properties outside of your local area. Why the half? Because one of these is a huge issue for some people and a total non-issue for others. I'm still going to list both, though. Downside one, you need to hire property management. Property management can be a big pain in the you-know-what for anyone investing outside of their local area. The exception to this, of course, is if you are a long-distance landlord and not using a property manager for your rental property, which poses its own set of stresses. Property management is, to me, considered a major downside because of how hard it is to find a good manager. And the downside to not finding a good one, a bad property manager, can cost you a fortune. What is so bad about a property management? Anyway, property managers don't make a big margin of profit per property. So the trade doesn't always attract the highest quality individual or the companies out there. Not to say there aren't any good ones, but the really good folks out there are probably going to want a higher income for doing any kind of job. There is definitely the art of figuring out how to really profit by being a property manager. And it is doable, but the general income model is a little tough to work, sometimes in terms of who it attracts. Downside number two, not being able to get to your property quickly. Here's the half one. Personally, this issue doesn't bother me a bit, and quite frankly, I can actually prefer not being able to drive by my properties. I know myself. If I were able to drive by my properties, if I so much saw a scuff on the garage door, I would stress out immediately. The reality is that a scuff really doesn't matter, but I'd stress and go all control freak on my manager, which I assume I would have because regardless of location, I still don't want to be a landlord. Or if I didn't have a manager, I don't have a clue about how to get a scuff off a garage door. So, all the while, a scuff doesn't matter. But hey, that's just me.
This has been your weekly real estate investment news recap. Visit Platinum Real Estate Holdings for more real estate news and view our latest turnkey properties.